September 9th it is. Yay.
Eh, eh.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know. I go into these things the same every year, you know? Like, this is not going to be interesting.
Nope.
And then I get swayed by the marketing,
Yep.
whatever. We'll see what happens, but
Yep.
I'm going to do my best to not spend money. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
I would like an iPhone with a terrible camera and really bad battery. Are they going to offer something like that?
I think so. I think
Oh,
they've got
there
that.
you go. Then take my money.
I think they've got that dialed up.
Yep.
They're gonna go on the Atkins diet or something like that, or whatever the new thing is.
The supermodel of iPhones.
Mm. Do you think they'll make it in gold?
Oh,
The
God, I hope
Johnny Ive,
right.
unapologetically gold.
Unapologetic. No, it's going to be unapologetically orange or something. Or I guess that one will be some kind of a light blue color. I don't know. Whatever. I have no idea. Played Gears of War yesterday, Brad.
I played Helldivers yesterday.
Oh, interesting. Anything? Any
Um,
nuts? Any?
if you have an Xbox Series S,
Hmm.
maybe don't buy this one.
Really?
It's
Oh,
it's not the so there's performance mode and then there's whatever high quality mode. High
hmm.
quality mode feels like about 5 frames per second,
Yeesh.
and so then you put it on whatever the performance mode. Somebody wrote, I'm not able to validate this, but I would not be surprised if it's wrong. It's like 680p. It is low
Yeah.
res.
This was
Very.
yeah. Remember when this is a million years ago, but when Halo 3 came out, someone somehow some publication figured out it was running at some sub
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
20 at the time it would have been like 720p. So it was running at like 535p or some
Hmm.
crazy thing. And there was a brief little, drama there, and it was like, yeah, but it looks good, right? Like, who cares? you know, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, this one doesn't look good.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. It's also 20 years later.
And it's
So,
also like there's no
you know,
anti
yeah,
aliasing or whatever they call it. So there's a lot of that. Like,
pixely, and
it's.
it needs to
Yeah.
be, what do you call it? Super or auto SR or whatever.
It needs to just be like ported correctly if they were
Ah,
going to offer it
what
that
is
way.
this? Where's it from originally? Like, what's the, what is
PlayStation.
it? Ah, well, this is probably the first time a PlayStation game has ever looked bad on the Xbox. No. Okay.
Anyways, how was whatever?
It's shockingly the same. In fact,
Yep.
it was so the same. I went back and looked it up because I was like, I don't understand what's happening here. Because this is not a remaster of the original game. Like the original game was remastered or whatever at some point in 2006 2007 for that games for Windows Live thing that was not Xbox really, but was, that thing they did for Vista briefly. And that's the one we talked about where they kind of added back some content like that Burmac level with the dinosaur thing. And then I don't remember the details, but that eventually did come to the console. And then there was like an ultimate edition for Windows 10, and then there were some updates to that,
Hmm.
but that was the one that added like 4K 120 frames a second, and then eventually frame limiting and blah blah blah, whatever. HDR probably, I don't remember. But so this one is just that game. It's just the same thing. Like, it's if you were already playing this on the PC, I mean, you get it for free, right? So it's a free upgrade to, I think it's called the Ultimate Edition. But the new bit there is that now it's on PlayStation, right? Now it's on other platforms. I don't remember the full list, but um, I don't know. I was kind of struck by just how, like, it's the same. I mean, it
So the
looked
target demographic for
great.
this is clearly just PlayStation users who've never played Gears of War, and that's
Yep. This is a test market for the
yep.
inevitable Halo to come, that's going to
Oh
go to
yeah, that
PS5. There's no way that's
that
not
ship
happening.
has already sailed on the Sea of Thieves. So
Yep.
you like
It's
that
you know,
crossover? You like that?
yep. It's starting. I don't know. I think game preservation, whatever you want to call this, is important.
Mm-hmm.
It's well, I was going to say it's especially important for big games like this. That's not true. It's important for all games. In fact, and you could argue it's even more important for the games people kind of ignore. But whatever. Um, I like to see games that are, you know, upscaled for modern devices, etc. Like that stuff's all great. I mean, but yeah, it's you could probably, if you've played this before and you kind of know the game, you could probably blow through it in like 5 or 6 hours. Pretty good, the single player campaign. And I don't know, I may still do it. I loaded it on a pretty beefy kind of gaming quality laptop that
Mm-hmm.
has like a RTX 5000 series, whatever it is, 5050, 5060, whatever. And it's high graphic effects across the board, 120 frames a second. It's
Oof.
pretty much pegged between 110 and 120 the whole time. 4K, well, it's not 4K. It's whatever the it's like 2.8K or whatever on the display, but it looks great. But it also just kind of looks the same to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They need I don't know what they would call it, like a whatever that main character's name is, a Dom collection or whatever, like the at least the original trilogy, and then I guess the next three games as well, something like a collection, that they could perhaps
They could call it the Perion.
okay, and bring it cross platform, etc. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. This is the one. The problem is, like, I've played this one so many times.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and even look at Gears 2 or 3 to even remember if I don't remember anymore. Like most of it. I don't know.
Well, in the least surprising news of the day, Anthropic is bringing their Claude to the Chrome browser and like a little chat thing, but it can interact. That was shocking.
Mhm.
0% of people. Very extremely minor limited preview. It's only like 1,000 people or something like that right now.
Yeah. So, yeah. Their stance on this is, and their stance, I mean, generally is they're really they're kind of trying to be like the Apple of AI. They're like, maybe that's not the best comparison, but they want, they're like, look, we understand this thing needs to be safe, blah blah blah. We know there are these injection attacks you can do. We want to make sure we account for all that stuff. Like they've done some work to reduce like the possibility of a vulnerability from like 90% to 10% or something, but whatever. So they're kind of presenting it like, we just throwing it out there. We trusted partners. We want to make sure, test the bounds, make sure we get this thing right. But do you think this is like, is this just like theater? Because now there's like reports about like these attacks and
Yep.
stuff, and so they're like, look, we're taking the high road here. We're gonna do it the right
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Look, I mean, the bar is pretty low. It's our chatbot isn't kicking out Hitler references, so
Yes, yes. Mussolini maybe, but we're not as bad on the
mhm.
scale. Yeah, I know. I don't know what to think of this. Like, it's inevitable that we're going to have an extension for every AI known to God on every browser.
Yeah, I'm
And
just more surprised we're not seeing more full blown native browsers yet. I would assume that's probably coming, right? OpenAI is rumored to be doing that, but then is like, is it going to be the
yeah, but have you looked at these things, man? Like the problem is they're all kind of rough, right? Like the complexity, that would be a good name. Perplexity, complexity.
Mhm.
The Perplexity Comet browser is probably the closest one, but it still has got that kind of Chromium vibe to
Oh,
it,
sure.
right?
They're all going to they're not going to deviate from Chromium.
No, but I mean, like Edge is based on Chromium, and Opera is, and Vivaldi is, and Brave is, but none of them look like Chromium. Like they look a little bit like Chrome, maybe, but like bare. If you look, most of us have done this at one point. We're like, why don't we just try Chromium? It's like Chrome with
Mhm.
so it actually has all the Google stuff. Doesn't matter, but whatever. And then you try it, and you're like, it's kind of plain looking, and you're like, yeah, whatever, who cares? And like that's what this looks like. It's just like I don't know. And then I I don't know how I got into this, but or even how I knew about it. But there's a Norton of all companies has a AI browser called Neo, which is probably the least refined of them all. And yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yep.
You want to have something that looks
Yeah.
like a polished actual product. So I don't know, like Edge, obviously Edge is there, Edge and Copilot mode is whatever, but it looks good. Like it looks nicely, it's nice. Chrome is whatever Chrome is, but I don't know. This might be a little harder than people think. It's like OpenAI is like obviously good at AI, but do they have people that can do something with this and make sense of it? Like they're gonna, they would have had to have hired people, right, to work on this product that
I would think
actually
so.
understand browsers and the ways you can customize Chromium or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this would be a little easier, but now that I'm looking at them, I'm like, all right, I can see the problem here. These people, no one knows. Well, like no one's ever done this work before. It's like there must be like the
Yeah.
companies that have done this are so far out now that they don't. They're kind of working off their own code base now. Like they have their own. They already did the work, for the UI stuff. So I think there's going to be like a look that the major players are all going to be there. Google, I guess Microsoft, whatever, Apple, whatever. They're going to have their things, and then I think the thing that's going to surprise us is going to be a company like the browser company with Dia or Opera. Maybe has I think theirs is going to be called Neon. It's going to be something like that, like or DuckDuckGo even, right? Well, like one day they'll just come out with this release, like, oh, there you go, like like this
Yeah.
is
The UI that
it's well
makes
done.
sense or how it
Yeah, they
functions.
actually right, they make sense of it. I don't know.
The only
I
thing I
can't
can
wait.
guarantee is that Edge will have 19 different Copilot buttons.
Yep. And at month to month, it will move around like a
Hmm.
fun little video game of whack a mole, except the mole is the co-pilot icon or whatever.
I don't know. I would love to get access to this Claude and Chrome. That would be,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right. I mean, it's yeah. I'm curious.
if you can connect it to the Claude code editor that they have, which I would imagine you could,
I think
then
that
the
would be the
possibilities
point, right?
become real interesting, at least for me.
Yeah, this is a good example of like the mix and match you can do, right? Like you
Hmm.
can choose Chrome because it's like the most popular browser. It just works with everything, whatever, and you don't care about memory. And then you choose Cloud because you think that's the best AI. Maybe it is. And then you use the two of them together, and you can kind of just like you can change your search engine.
Yeah, it would be awesome. This would be awesome. This would be the end game
Mm-hmm.
for Claude and Chrome, at least for me. So this whole thing, this whole shigamaboo, whatever we call this thing we do every day,
Shigamaboo.
shigamaboo,
Okay.
get it fully automated through
Mm-hmm.
Claude. Because right now, what happens is I hit end recording. I go upstairs, hit a button on my keyboard that's a PowerShell script that
Yep.
runs FFmpeg that takes our video, which I don't even edit. Like people will be like, "Didn't you edit this?" Like, nope, it goes up live, baby. Like because I have it timed
Right.
that I know when I whatever. So then it kicks out the MP4 and the MP3 files. If I have
Yeah.
Claude in Chrome, in theory, I could then have it
Mm-hmm.
enter all the information. Now here's where it gets real fun. Is could I get it wired up? Actually, I know I could do this in some capacity. It'd take a little more effort, but actually have Claude write the title for the podcast
Jeez.
and the
In other
summary.
words, you could literally do some. Look, this will what you're describing will happen. I have this notion in the back of my brain that if we knew more about the Mac and shortcuts and how those things work, you could
Hmm.
probably do this right now. By the way, but just automating a workflow, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't. This is one of those things. Like this year, I've been meaning to look into. I never have time for this. But yes, what you're this will happen, right? And you'll be able to like leave an audio cue on the end of the recording where you say the episode name is whatever, the whatever, and then it says here it is this okay? And you make sure there's not like a spelling thing in the title, whatever, and you're like, yeah, post it, like this will happen.
Hmm.
This will happen.
Yeah, it's more of thinking that would be a fun project for me to try to figure that out. But I need the Claude and Chrome, which is probably quite literally going to do the mouse movements, which is whatever.
Well,
But
yeah, for now, right? I mean, but I look, you're a Windows user. There's a very good chance that what you're describing will be possible with Copilot. It's built in, it will interact with the screen, et cetera, et cetera. You could, there's probably, as soon as someone else does it, Microsoft will just copy it because that's how this world is working right
Right.
now.
The the problem with what you just said, it's not the problem. It's the same reason I use Notion.
Yeah.
I like, and the same reason I use Spotify. Using a company and that is all their focus is,
Yeah.
has generally
Yeah. Yeah.
kicked out better results over the long term than Microsoft, who just scattershots everything and then abandons Fluent and
Yeah.
Win UI
Well,
3.
this is
And
a problem Google shares, but yeah, you're right.
yeah,
Yep.
Gemini's the same way. I mean,
I don't, it doesn't, yeah, this is a pro con thing. That what you just described is kind of like a classic debate for me. Like, yeah, which one to use, right? Because,
yep.
but the problem is with big tech, really, well, a problem is just that, they have such scale and they can potentially, they don't always, but they potentially, it would be free or lower cost maybe or something. And you get these integration benefits because maybe you're part of Microsoft 365 or blah, blah, whatever, like, so it's kind of tough, but like, I will say, I do think we're in the golden age of, I'll just call it mix and match for lack of a better term, where companies have actually been doing this for a long time, but people have too. But like, use Slack,
Mm-hmm.
use Google Workspace, maybe use Notion, and then it's like whatever. Like you don't have to do all the one thing through whatever Microsoft 365 or whatever, and it works. It's fine, or it's good, or maybe it's better in some ways. It's cheaper, maybe, or whatever. But I just feel like there's a lot more of it now, and I think AI and just all the interoperability is going to expand it dramatically.
Here's what's going to happen, though. Anthropic's going to have their little Claude and Chrome thing, and then like
Mhm.
OpenAI is going to announce their thing next week, and they're just going to be like, all right, hit the go button. Everyone gets it.
I know. That's the thing. That's going to be an interesting test, like one of the reasons is it's because, OpenAI ChatGPT is like the Kleenex or whatever, the Xerox of this world. And yet, so far at least, there hasn't been any evidence of like Google search revenues or whatever is going down, right? I mean, that has to happen in time. But like if they introduce a browser tomorrow and then we look at the stats like in a month, are we going to see like them actually appear fairly immediately?
No, because it's still
I don't know.
like I think of my mom. My mom's not downloading OpenAI browser. She doesn't care.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. No one knows. That's the point. That's why we're still around. If we